Okay, the driver. So this is a BombTech Golf grenade driver. This is a 9-degree driver. I actually started with a 10.5, and I have both now, a 10.5 and a 9-degree driver. And what's interesting is that I can play the 10.5, and I actually hit the 10.5 really well. But depending on the conditions of the course or how I'm swinging, I might play the 9-degree or the 10-degree. Just it's really all about what kind of trajectory I want to see the ball come out at. Now, for you, if you've been fitted for a driver, if you're trying to get fitted for a driver, the big numbers that you're going to look for are your launch angle, your spin rate, and your speed, your ball speed. What you're trying to do is you're trying to optimize your launch angle, spin rate, and ball speed to get the most distance and still be accurate. I do play 44.5 inches, and that really just came to me, I think probably in about 2009. I was playing a 45-inch driver, and someone had a shorter driver, and I just felt it, and it felt so much better to me. And when I swung it, I hit it much more solid. So that kind of piqued my interest, and I started really kind of looking at what a shorter shafted driver would do for me as far as solid contact. And I wanted to know also if I was going to lose distance. And what I found was at 44.5 inches, I went all the way down to 43.5 inches when I was doing this fitting specifically for length. And what I found was that at 44.5 inches, I hit it much more solid more often, and I didn't lose any distance. And when I went to 44, I hit it solid again, but my launch angle went down a little bit, my ball speed went down a little bit, and I started just losing distance. So even though I hit it very, very solid with 44 and with 43.5 as well, even though I was hitting it really solid, I was losing a little bit of distance. So what you're really looking for in driver length is to find the one that allows you to still hit it solid every time, but where you're not losing a lot of distance. And I think probably for most players, 44.5 inches is plenty of length. A lot of guys on tour don't play anything more than 45. Still plenty of players on tour playing under 45 inches. And it's just really helpful. For most people that I've fitted, 43.5 to 44.5 really gives players the most consistency and solid contact. Another big key for me with the driver is the actual swing weight of the club. So I play, this is about a 70-gram shaft, and I can play anywhere from 60 to 75 grams in my shaft. But the big thing that I'm really concerned with, or I want to be aware of, is my swing weight. So the reason that's important for me is that when I swing, if my club head weight, or the swing weight, which is essentially, when you're talking about swing weight, you're just trying to think about the balance of the club. So the heavier the head is, the heavier the swing weight will be. So for my swing, if I have a really heavy swing weighted club, the club head will kind of drop under plane on the backswing, get a little bit too much stuck behind me, and then through impact, I'll find that my hands are a little too high and the club's rolling over too much. And I actually learned that by chance. A friend of mine was wondering if swing weight affected ball speed and spin rates and things like that. So we did a huge swing weight test, and I didn't actually see a huge difference in ball speed and spin rates or anything like that. But what I saw was my actual swing plane changed a lot when I used the heavier the swing weight, the more under plane, the more vertical my shaft angle was at impact. The lighter the swing weight, the more outside the club would work, and the more kind of horizontal my shaft angle would be at impact. So that was a huge tell for me. That was a huge key, and I used that information to kind of build my driver at that point, and then the rest of my clubs. Whenever I did a fitting, I made sure that I was aware of my swing weight. So this shaft, it's a custom shaft. It basically just says X-Flex on it, but the reality of it is it's pretty particular. It's 270 cycles per minute, which on the chart falls pretty much right around extra stiff. Now that's 270 cycles at 44.5 inches. If the club were longer, then I'd have a different CPM number there. But at 270 cycles per minute, I know that the shaft's not going to flex too much, and it's also not, so in not flexing too much, it's not going to dip down too much in my downswing. If the shaft were a softer shaft, then the shaft would have a tendency to dip down more at my club head speed through impact. So that's why I play extra stiff in my driver. Even though I kind of actually like the feel of a little bit softer shaft better, I really don't like to have my club drooping so much through impact. And so the stiffer the shaft is, the less droop that you'll have through impact. So again, this is a 9-degree. My spin numbers are really good with this club. My launch angle is really good with this club. And because I've got the swing weight optimized, and the length optimized, I know I'm going to hit it solid pretty much every time, and I'm going to hit it on the path or the plane that I intend to. So those are some big keys when you're thinking about getting fitted, about finding a driver that you like. Definitely try a club that's a little bit shorter and see if you hit it more solid. I don't think you're going to lose any ball speed until you get really, really short with the driver. And be aware of your spin rate, your launch angle, and your ball speed. And just try to optimize those numbers to get the most efficient impact and launch conditions so that you can get the longest distance while still being accurate.